Hello again, everyone. Lots of big news here for Nebraska Weather TV. Let's get right to it. And the biggest news right now is the mobile weather app is free and available for download at the Google Play Store and the Apple Store as well. Would love to have you check it out and try it out. It's very, very user friendly, and you don't even have to set up your alerts. Just set up your hometown and your home city, and it'll automatically alert you if and when there's severe weather. Speaking of which, there will be some severe weather to talk about here as we get through the next 24 hours. So bear with me here. We'll get through all that. In the meantime, another warm day here by November standards, almost 80 degrees in many places. Highs today, plenty of sunshine, a little breezy, and the highs ranging from the mid 70s to around 80 degrees from the west back to the east, all the way up to the South Dakota border into Kansas. And then you can see here that kind of a tale of two states here. The half the state, the western part of the state, is much colder behind a passing cold front, where our overnight lows on Thursday morning will only dip down into the 50s, including the Tri-Cities here, but just off to our west, it'll be much colder. Now here you can see how our highs shake out on Thursday because of said cold front, and that'll be the battleground for some thunderstorms throughout the day. In the meantime, we'll still see our highs reaching into the 70s in the Tri-Cities and as far back east as Omaha and Lincoln, Beatrice, but to the west, Scottsbluff, Alliance, Chadron, Valentine, Thedford, North Platte will all be in that 50 to 60 degree range. So you can see where that big change is here. And then we're talking precipitation, much needed. Unfortunately, behind that cold front, we're not looking at very much, although we will be talking about a little bit of potential for some snow, and I'll show you that here in a moment. You can see here the eastern part and southeastern part of the state, which is typical where we see the most rainfall, and that is anywhere east of Highway 281, especially over towards the Iowa border, much less as you go to the west. And let's check out that severe weather threat. Here we have a slight risk, that area in yellow. 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5 on the threat scale for that area in yellow. That slight risk, 1 out of 5 is what I wanted to say for the green area. That marginal, that marginal extends all the way up to Ord and Columbus. That slight risk almost to Hastings here, and we're looking at mostly wind and hail. There is a limited tornado threat, and I think the better threat will be along the Kansas-Nebraska border down into Kansas. Here's that hail outlook, just a handful of storms potentially producing some hail, other ones producing some wind, and that'll be where the little better threat out of all this is. And then let's check out the forecast here. There's that snow potentially following there to the western and northwestern part of the state. That'd be typical for this time of year, where we'd see because of the higher elevation, we'd see a little more accumulation here. But overall, we should see thunderstorms breaking out around Highway 283, Furnace County, and then moving off to the east and northeast very quickly towards the Tri-Cities. So that's what I'm looking at in terms of that severe weather potential. Here's the potential for a little bit of snowfall. I think generally in the western part of the panhandle to the northwestern part of the state, anywhere from an inch or two. Although I think this type of system with the moisture wrapping back around that area of low pressure and with the cold air, if it's available, we might sneak in a little bit more isolated, heavier amounts to the far northwest here. So don't be surprised for that. Thanks so much for watching Nebraska Weather TV. We'll have more updates as we get closer to this event.